Hello and welcome to the Caspian Watch. My name is Abid Gafarov, author of Andalunia. And I'm pleased to welcome you to the very first live broadcast of our channel. We do not choose where we are born. Geography is our destiny. We were born in the South Caucasus, in the Caspian region. This is our home. And everything that happens here matters to us. Political developments, democratic processes, human rights, regional security, international relations, conflicts, and cooperation. These are not distant topics of us. They shape the lives and futures of millions of people across our region. Caspian Watch was created to provide a platform for thoughtful, open, and informed discussions about the issues that define the South Caucasus, the Caspian region, and their place in the wider world. Here, no important questions is off limits. So today, I'm delighted to honor our first guest in our studio, Arif Mammadov, who is the former ambassador of Organization of Islamic Cooperation in European Union. Arif, welcome to the show. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much, Abid, for this invitation. It's a great honor for me to be your first guest in your English programs. I wish your channel lots of success. I'm sure that this channel will be successful, knowing your energy, your devotion, and I have seen how you, from first visit to the Council of Europe, you made so many important meetings and so many achievements. And all the best for the channel. I will try to contribute as much as I can to this channel. And I think that we, together with other friends, we can make this channel one of the leading channels of the region.
Thank you very much, Arif. Of course, definitely considering the fact that, yes, there are plenty number of the politicians or the representatives of the civil society, but there is no any dedicated platform for the English speakers that could enable us to open the window to the European Union, to the world. So I guess that this gap should be filled. And I again thank you for joining us and supporting new project. First question, actually, as we know that there is some process going on in our region, I would like to specify that the aggression of the USA and Israel to the Iran, and this war actually may escalate to the entire region. And from time to time, we witness that the diplomatic rhetoric is going very, aggressive, and especially from side of the United States President, Mr. Trump. But anyway, we will go to this topic. But first important thing, during your performance or during you were part of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in European Union, how you found how the Islamic world and the region, our region, South Caucasus and the Caspian region, is accepted in European Union and in the world. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Abid. You know, before my last posting as ambassador of Organization of Islamic Cooperation to the European Union, I was senior Azerbaijani diplomat working for the European Union and Council of Europe, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and then I was proposed the post of ambassador of Organization of Islamic Cooperation to the European Union. It sounded very important because officially I represented 56 Muslim countries to the European Union. Not many organizations can be proud of having 56 members, like maybe it is second to UN. on the number of members, and but unfortunately, this organization was important on the paper, but in reality, it wasn't so important, and it wasn't taken seriously. Firstly, it was a problem of organization itself. Financial resources of the organization were quite limited. Headquarters was also in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah, and there was lack of leadership of this organization. It was more, organization controlled by Riyadh, by Saudi Arabia. On the Officially, it was like organization of all member states, but there was big influence of the Saudi Arabia, and organization headquarters depended on Saudi Arabia financing and everything. But I believe that for organization to be successful, it has to be completely independent of any member states, and preferably it should be based in small countries, not important countries. Like we see, NATO is set up in in Brussels, very small country in Europe. We see many international organizations are based or in Strasbourg, in Brussels, or in Geneva, uh, and it is done especially because of this. Not to give any single country to be able to influence such organization.
Thank you, Arif.
Yeah,
Now I'd like to move to the situation in the region and especially the war in Iran. The ongoing Iran war has already reshaped the regional dynamics across the Middle East and beyond. Of course, we are not going to discuss the Middle East. However, from our perspective, what are the most significant political, security, and economic consequences of this conflict for the South Caucasus and the wider Caspian region? And do you see the region becoming more transit opportunity or a security risk as a result? Floor is yours.
yeah. Thank you, Abid. Of course, this is a terrible conflict. I'm sure that everybody understands that America made big mistake in launching this war, and according to the words of Marco Rubio, America started this war because of Israel. Just Israel informed them that they're going to strike Iran, and America decided to strike Iran because Israel. So that there is lots of anger in American society about this war because Americans say that this is not our war. Why American soldiers have to die for Israel? Why America should pay billions for this war? And of course, this is probably in the history of the United States. This war will be mentioned as a tragic and probably one of the biggest mistakes in U.S.
Shaming them,
Yeah.
probably.
When it comes to the region, of course, South Caucasus was part of many international organizations. We consider ourselves as part of Europe because we are in European institutions, we are in OSCE, we are still member of the Council of Europe while we were, removed, or we were our voting right was deprived from the Parliamentary Assembly, but but we are a member of the Council of Europe, so that we can say that we are part of Europe, we are part of Turkic world, but we are also part of the wider Middle East because we are neighboring the region. We are Caucasus, South Caucasus is a part of the Middle East, and we neighbor with Turkey, with Iran, with other countries which are making the part of this region. And of course, this war will reshape not only our region but entire wider region, as you said, because we see Gulf countries. Apparently, there will be even probably change of borders. I don't think that all Gulf countries will survive and will remain as they are now. In Bahrain, for example, over 60% of population are Shia Muslims, and their sympathies are on the side of Iran. And we see similar developments in other countries. So that Iran factor will increase considerably. American strategist who made the U.S. military strategy for Pentagon, for the White House, he says that America should acknowledge that Iran became the fourth power, not only regional power but global power, alongside with United States, Russia, United States, Russia, China, and Iran. Iran showed its ability to fight back very successfully, and with lots of technologies, with lots of know-hows. I saw yesterday there was Petersburg Economic Forum. They were bringing Iranian example for Russia. Senior Russian officials were saying that Russia has to move its critical infrastructure, its critical factories, its critical nuclear arsenals deep under the earth, under the rocks, like Iran did. The second, Bezrukov, he was a former Russian agent working in the West. He said that Russia has to do this. It is Iranian example. Iran put all its critical infrastructure, factories, military, missiles and nuclear facilities deep under the earth. Russia didn't do this. And the second, what they say that what Russia should do, they should decentralize command structure so that regional commanders should not wait until they get instruction from their headquarters or from the first person. Now any Iranian commander in the region, in the brigade, in the regiment, they know what they have to do in situation A, in situation B, in situation C, in situation E, and this is also know-how, and that's why Americans don't know. We see that a single, Revolutionary Guard commander can take decision to strike U.S. warship, for example, as they did yesterday. The Fifth Fleet frigate, where was command center of the Fifth Fleet. And also we see that many Iranian military and political leadership have been destroyed, killed, but we saw that they were replaced immediately, so that there is a chain of command, and if someone is killed or somewhere out of service, immediately there is someone who replaces him. And Iranian example became like example for other countries, like Russia studies Iranian example, China and others, for example. and of course, the way that Iran carries out asymmetric war is very successful method of striking back. We see what Iran did. Iran cannot, of course, compete with the United States on its military might, but what Iran can do, Iran can destroy American economic interests and its bases, and etc., etc. So it is clear that if tomorrow America carries out the war with any other country, like with China, what would China do? They will do the same what Iranian did. They will strike American bases in South Korea, in Japan, in Philippines, and other countries. And all these countries now try to get rid of the bases. Now, Qatar wants American bases to be removed. Saudi Arabia openly says that we don't want your base anymore. So this war showed all the weaknesses of American military, showed all the problems. We saw, for example, like what was America most proud of its fleet, of its airplane carriers, like George Washington, Lincoln. But we see now in today's war, they are almost useless. They cannot even approach the Iranian coast. They have to stay 1,000 kilometers away of the Iranian coast. And for any plane to take off, to go to Iran and come back, they have to be refueled twice on the air. So so it is clear that the modern war is changing many things. We see drones are very effective. Sometimes drones are more effective than most sophisticated missiles. For example, we see that Americans have to fire Patriot missiles to down Iranian Shahed 136, which is $50,000, and Patriot is between 6 to 8 million. And also Iran wins on economy of the war. But the most important that all the countries of the region and beyond the region, they see that Iran is not what many were thinking is. Many see that Iran is capable country. They have very capable military. They have military technologies that nobody was aware of. Even White House, American Secret Services didn't know of all potential of Iranian missiles like Khorram Shahr, like Sajil, like Fatah, and many with up to 80 warheads. Like Khorram Shahr 4, it has 40 from 40 to 80 warheads, and to intercept these warheads are almost impossible. Also, Iranian drones like Shahed 136. I remember the first Shaheeds had flight distance up to 500 kilometers. Now they can fly up to 4,000, over 2,000, so that they can strike targets not only in the Middle East but beyond the Middle East. And production capacity are absolutely crazy. They can produce up to more than 500 Shahed drones per month. You know how many Americans can produce, for example, THAAD air defense missiles? How many?
I think 90 or 100 a year.
No. 8.
8. Wow. 8. Yeah. It's definitely obvious that
Patriots, they can produce 45 Patriots or between 45 and 60 Patriots. But THAAD is more sophisticated. They can only do 8. But 8 is only enough to intercept 2-3 Iranian ballistic missiles. But Iran has thousands of ballistic missiles.
Yeah. And what's the most important thing, nowadays the war is very, very expensive. And considering that Iran can build the drones maybe in a couple of thousand, but in order to stop them, USA and Israel should spend maybe hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars.
Millions. Yeah. They already spent. Pentagon says that's like 5 billion, but people believe that more than 20 billion was spent. It is how you calculate. If you calculate only your missiles, but also enormous damage was inflicted to American bases in the Middle East. 13 bases were completely destroyed, including CENTCOM, Central Command Headquarter base was completely destroyed. The base in Saudi Arabia was destroyed. Iraq's airplane was destroyed. C-130 transport cargo planes were destroyed. F-15s and over 40
Raptors. Raptors were definitely
over 42 planes were destroyed. Planes and helicopters, and also expensive Raptor drones, like which cost more than airplane. So Iran,
We'll come to the America side, Arif. I would
yeah,
like to ask a specific question, which is very important for our people and for our region as well. You remember when the war between Iran, or let's be specific, USA-Israel aggression and oppression, aggression started towards the Iran. We had some incident in Nakhchivan, drone impact, yeah, and President Ilham Aliyev made very strong and out of diplomatic rhetoric statements regarding the reported drone incident in Nakhchivan. In your view, how serious is the risk of escalation between Azerbaijan and Iran in terms of a diplomatic relationship, uh, and even beyond the diplomatic relationship, uh, considering that the first reaction towards the Ilham Aliyev's the statements, aggressive statements, was not very friendly from the Iran side. How do you think after this incident between USA and Iran, it goes down? May Iran actually increase more tension towards Azerbaijan? What is your view on this?
Iran considers Aliyev the same as Gulf country, proxy regimes as Israeli proxies, not American proxies, but Israeli proxies. Aliyev for Iranian leadership is clearly not a friend, and they know about everything. They know about Mossad operations carried out from the territory of Azerbaijan. It's not something I give some state secrets. Was these articles about that were published in Israeli media, in Haaretz and others. Like, for example, one of the operations against Bushehr atomic station, when Israeli Mossad stole all the documentation, they said that it was carried out from the territory of Azerbaijan. Also, assassination of some Iranian scientists, nuclear scientists, were also carried out from Azerbaijan. Whatever Aliyev says, Aliyev can tomorrow say that we are brother countries, whatever. For them, Aliyev is Israeli puppet. Aliyev is a servant of Israeli regime, and accordingly, you can understand their attitude. And of course, whatever happens in Azerbaijan, Iranians watch very carefully. Of course, Iran doesn't want to have a conflict with Azerbaijan because they consider Azerbaijanis as very close ethnically. There are over 30 million. Some people say 40 million Azeris living in Iran, but I would say that over 30 is probably the best figure, would be over 30 million living there. And also, we should, whenever somebody is joyful about striking Iran, we should remember that for any out of two people killed in Iran, one is likely Azerbaijani. We know that over 1,000, maybe more, like people. Do you know how many people died? Civilians died in Iran. I know that many, maybe several thousands.
Yeah, yeah.
But
The number of the casualties are huge. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure that out of these people, at least half of them are ethnic Azeris. We shouldn't forget about that. Of course, Iran, if Iran before was uh, was watching to all developments, economic cooperation, all these projects in the region, like Trump Road for Peace and Security or whatever. From now on, Iran will be more. I would say that more opposing this kind of project. The same as well, one of the conditions that Iran puts before Americans, that Americans should remove all their bases that might represent threat to Israel, to Iran. Of course, this presence of this road, and not only a road. I always talk about that. Not many people mention this, but we have 4 airports built in Karabakh region, and of course anybody understands that these airports are not for tourist flow. we don't know any tourists coming to Karabakh yet, and there is no any potential for tourism at least for the next 10 years, And of course, everybody knows that these installations are just Potemkin village. They have completely different mission. There are surveillance installations to watch Iranian territory, to scan the sky and anything. So and Iran knows that. Of course, if we know that, of course, Iranians know that what is happening there. So I expect that after the war, many regimes will fall in the Middle East, and I don't exclude that in our region, because previous sweetie-tweety approach is over from all the sides. And Iran, if before they were tolerating closing the eyes, from now on they say that whatever might represent threat to us, we will not let it happen, because they had bad experience. Each time Iran was negotiating, Iran was going for any concession, they were stabbed in the back, like including the last time before 28th of February when Iranian territory was attacked. Negotiations were scheduled to be held in Switzerland, and Iranian delegation was on the way to Geneva when they were attacked, and many times, so that Iran has no any trust in any promises, in any kind of statements, so that they say that, okay, we pretend that we are talking, that we are ready to do something, but we know that we don't trust anybody. They don't trust to Trump statements. They don't trust to any other countries.
Middle East countries, yeah. Apparently, they don't even trust Azerbaijan. Yeah.
Yeah, Azerbaijan, they trust the least probably. Azerbaijan is in.
So here's the most important question, I would say, of our show. Given that a large part of Azerbaijan's population is Shia Muslim, do you think Iran could use religious and cultural ties as a form of political influence or pressure on Azerbaijan leadership, including President Ilham Aliyev, which may lead the change of the power, change of the government? How do you think? Do you think that this is real?
Yeah, I believe if before Iranians were trying not to meddle into the Azerbaijani domestic policies, they were seeing that religious people were arrested. Out of over 500 political prisoners, 80% are religious people, people of faith,
Excuse me, Arif, I would like to emphasize they are peaceful religious people.
Peaceful,
Yeah,
absolutely. These people didn't commit any crime, and they were arrested under bogus charges, like for drug trafficking or being spy of Iran or whatsoever. Of course, it's not true, and also what the regime did in the village of Nardaran, when entire village is now like concentration camp, surrounded, and people are frightened. We have seen what they did in Ganja, probably very religious city. Imam Hussein Mosque is pride of Ganja people. Imam Hussein Mosque is probably the heart of Ganja, and what they did, they humiliated religious people. They put bogus charges against them. Of course, role of Iran will increase. With role of Iran increased, its influence will increase in Azerbaijan, in Georgia. In Georgia, you know that the biggest, the very religious community, Shia community in Georgia is very, very active. We saw that they they protested American strikes on Iran. Well, one of the biggest demonstration was in front of the U.S. embassy in Tbilisi. So, and there are over 500, no, 500 Azerbaijanis living in Georgia, and they are they are deeply religious people, deeply religious people. So, anyway, Iran's role will increase, and Iran cooperation with China and Russia will also increase. It is already on very high level. In fact, Iran some way saved China because intention of the war of Trump for when Trump was starting this war was also go before the visit to China. He wanted to go there victorious to show that okay, Venezuela, I have conquered Venezuela, I have conquered Iran, and I came here like the king. But we have seen that Trump visit was complete failure. He was like, praising Xi Jinping and saying, and Xi Jinping was cool, and he was almost, irresponsive to all this flatter by Trump. So China understands that Iran is an important country, also for preserving Chinese interests. Iran is an important country for the corridor, North-South corridor. North-South corridor. And probably the role of North-South corridor will increase. And if North-South corridor role will increase, of course, other corridors will be not so important. All this, corridor from the South Caucasus, it sounds nice, but it has many technical drawbacks, many technical problems. We were speaking about transit from the Caspian Sea, but we see that the level of Caspian Sea is dropping tremendously. The port of Alat that Azerbaijan had built for cargo, like a cargo port, now it's almost inoperational because of this problems of the big ships cannot approach big ship because they need deeper port, and also I believe that before the September we'll see many things happening. Let's see, just now we will see Armenian elections, which are coming this weekend. We have to see results of these elections, but with all the problems with the war lost, Armenia shows it is more successful state. I have seen that Armenia gives to every newborn child family around $1,400. Azerbaijan gives, how much Azerbaijan gives to the family? Only once, around 300. Yeah. So Armenia gives more than almost 4 or 5 times more money to the family than Azerbaijan, oil-rich and gas-rich country. And Armenia also built good relations, despite very close relations with the West. Armenia didn't do anything that would represent danger for Iran. Iran understands that Armenia needs good relations with the West, but until now, nothing was done to harm Iran. They have relations, and I think that now Armenia is going to sign new strategic partnership cooperation with Iran. So, but we will see increased role of Iran in the region, in Azerbaijan, and also our religious communities see the role of Iran increasing.
Yeah.
And of course we are as a defenders, human rights defenders, as politicians, we are worried about attacks to our religious leadership, like Taleh Arizadeh. I think that he is.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to take the more to this subject.
Yes,
you are totally right. For example, for last years, lots of peaceful religious citizens been arrested and being accused as a drug dealers, or the Iranian spies or Iranian agents. And actually, I think that this will increase or may increase the tension between Azerbaijan and Iran. So I'd like to follow the same subject, which actually may sound very unusual. As soon as Ilham Aliyev falls out with Iran, so there is any conflict, or if there is something which Ilham Aliyev doesn't like about Iran, Shia Muslims in the country are being targeted, arrested on fabricated charges. And usually they are fabricated charges as a drug dealers, which is insane. And we have some cases, let's say that the imam of the mosque being arrested and on fabricated charges and being tortured, being threatened to be raped in order to sign the confession. Likely he is a drug dealer. Anyway, what does it mean? Is Ilham showing his power to Iran by suppressing his own citizens? Are people being arrested under the label of Iranian agents? Is that the real cause that Ilham wants to take this political relationship to the next level? But so far, Iran remains silent. But will Iran remain silent after the war finishes? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that Aliyev attempts to show its power is not the display of the power, but display of the weakness. The strong leaders don't do what Aliyev does, by arresting innocent people, by putting to prison young journalists, by putting to prison political activists, absolutely brilliant people, is not a sign of strength. It is a sign of weakness, and any people understand that. There is saying that all dogs don't bark, but I would rephrase this phrase: strong dog don't bark, or confident dog don't bark. And those who are afraid, who are panicking, they always bark and try to bite other people. So that all that Aliyev does, also inside the country, not vis-à-vis Iran, not vis-à-vis the religious community, but all his actions is a sign of weakness. He tries to frighten everybody because he is himself frightened of Azerbaijani society. He's afraid of you, he's afraid of me, he's afraid of this Caspian Watch channel, he's afraid of other channels, he's afraid of people who really resist and tell the truth. See how much he's furious when we make these programs, when we discuss things. From one side, it might look like he doesn't care. No, he cares a lot. He's afraid because he knows that you can put people to prison, you can try to frighten them, but you cannot break people. And one day it will fire back. And including, people don't understand the humiliation they passed through in Nardaran. Nardaran villagers were decent, very, good community. They lived their own life. They didn't.
Very conservative, yeah.
Yeah, and do you think that they forgot what they passed through? Never. They're just waiting for the right time. Patience. Also, patience is a part of our culture. Patience of the part of the Islamic culture, but also Shia culture. Patience is one of the highest wise that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was teaching us to be. That patience, sabr. Sabr is the highest virtue of the person. We sometimes whenever I see that how much we can fight, nothing happens. But then I say no. Sabr is important. We have to be patient and continue our. If you continue and you don't surrender, then one day you will win. And Aliyev knows that he cannot break Azerbaijani society. I remember in one of the interviews to private talks with Solovyov, Russian media man, or Russian journalist, I would say.
Journalist, yeah.
He said that if I wouldn't be tough with the people, Azerbaijani, they will cut heads, because he's afraid that his people, but also it is his approach to Azerbaijani people. He thinks of us like this, but secondly, he's afraid. Again, I believe that it's not. You see, he arrested many people. He arrested you. You passed time in prison. Your health was harmed. I know that you had very serious health problems. They were trying to kill you, but are you broken? No. Is Yagublu, Tofik Yagublu broken?
Tofik Yagublu, yeah.
No, he's not broken. He's Kubadibadoglu, brilliant Azerbaijani scientist, brilliant Azerbaijani scholar. He's in home arrest. Or many other, Rufat
Safarov, Azer Qasımlı, yeah.
Another.
Akhtiyar Ajiyev, Namzat Safarov. They are all very important people of our society.
No, they don't surrender. They continue the war. And Ilham Aliyev is afraid of them. He keeps them in prison because he's afraid, And he knows that these regimes don't last long. And the changes that happen in the region will have absolutely effect on all of us, and it will have consequences in Azerbaijan. And I mean, sometimes I think that we are already fighting for a long time. Some people 10 years, some people 20 years, some people more. But I believe that now we have come to the point when things will happen quicker, and for sure, I personally expect that before the end of the year there will be things happening, and we have to book our tickets.
Yeah, I wish so, and definitely we all been through difficult times, being arrested, tortured, and living abroad is not the virtue for us. Anyway,
it's not easy. Some people think that we are in Europe, in Belgium or in Germany. It's difficult, but what keeps us, strong is fighting.
Yeah, definitely.
And fighting gives us energy. If we would stay home and just surrender, we will not have this. But we have the energy. With all the difficulty, with all the problems, you open the channel. I try to run my channel, and I'm sure that whatever we do, it will come. It will be.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for the technical issue we had. For 1 second, we lost your voice, but it is okay now. Arif, you mentioned very important subject. As you mentioned, in recent years, there has been a noticeable increase in anti-Iran narratives in parts of Azerbaijani media and public discourse. Some observers describe this as a natural reflection of geopolitical tensions between the two countries, while others see it as a coordinated media framing that shapes public perception. In your view, why this anti-Iran narrative appears so prominently in Azerbaijani media today, and to what extent is it driven by state policy, regional security dynamics, or broader geopolitical alignments? What is your view? What is the real cause? Is it really what you mentioned, that Azerbaijan is a proxy country of Israel? So it is not about being friends, yeah? Or this is what Ilham Aliyev is the most afraid of, rise of the people, the Shia people, because the most of oppressed in the Azerbaijan society, lots of groups, of course, Democrats, yeah, the nationalists, but the Shia people are the most oppressed. As you mentioned, when we had 400 political prisoners, 250 of them were peaceful religious. So, how do you think? What is the real cause of this anti-Iran discourse in Azerbaijani media, and especially Azerbaijani pro-governmental media?
Yeah, of course, this is not Azerbaijan. We don't have independent media. All the media that is airing from Azerbaijan are pro-government, and they get instructions from the presidential administration, and presidential administration gets the instructions from President Aliyev. And everybody knows that whatever comes in Azerbaijani media, it is instruction given by Mr. Aliyev, and his family is deeply linked with Netanyahu, with Israel in general. His family members are even his family members are making alliances with Israeli citizens. When I say Israeli citizens, they are also Israel. I know that Emin Agalar is Israeli citizen. I'm sure that their children, they have many passports, British passport, Swiss passport, but also Israeli passport. They for medical treatments, they go to Israel. For Azerbaijan oil is sold to Israel, and even Turkish images seriously damages because of this trade. Because many people say that Israel, no, Turkey sells Azerbaijan. Turkey says it's not it is our Azerbaijani oil, but still it is a bad image for Turkey. I think that Aliyev understands that time is not on his side anymore. Things are changing rapidly. He knows that he cannot rely on Netanyahu, on Israel, because Netanyahu himself is in big trouble. You probably heard of the Trump conversation with him when he said that you are an idiot. Everybody hates you, and because everybody hates you, everybody hates Israel. And if I wasn't, you would be in prison. But they're interdependent. It's not only Netanyahu who depends on Trump, but Trump also depends on Netanyahu. But I think that their days are counted. I believe that in midterm elections, chances of Trump and his team to win are almost zero, because nothing is going well in America anymore. America cannot finish the war. Trump cannot finish the war, and all what he says, nobody trusts him. Nobody trusts him. And I saw how yesterday his cabinet members were grilled in the U.S. Congress in the Capitol Hill. Like Mr. Rubio had very hard times in answering very serious questions. So things are changing a bit. I believe that this summer will be very hot summer, not only as a weather forecast, but in general. There are things coming, things are happening, and I hope that this wind of changes will touch Azerbaijan as well. And also, you are someone who knows very well Azerbaijani, mentality, and you are very popular in Shia communities in Azerbaijan, Baku villages, and I like them. Probably these people preserved Azerbaijani, all nice qualities of Azerbaijani people. They preserve the language, they preserve the tradition, family values, and everything. Now Aliyev tries to destroy this, by building Sibris, this resort next to Nardaran village is also a way of humiliating these people, But they don't forget this. One day they will. They will.
They will remind. They will
Yes.
remind.
They
Yeah.
will. They will ask the questions, and better than me for sure. These people, you know their mentality. You are in contact. I know that you are highly respected in these communities, and we have to. And they need our conversation. They need our messages. They need our guidance
And dialogue. The
and
most
dialogue.
important thing, yeah, dialogue. Yeah, thank you. And yes, I totally agree with you. I don't think that people will ask the question. People will how to hold into account. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
come and answer for your deeds. Why you
yes.
have arrested your own people when you didn't like something from Iranian side? Yeah, and finally, I would like to finalize our interview and show with this question, because yes, whatever we have discussed so far is something gray, something dark, but we want to see future, bright future. And the final question, looking at the broader picture of the South Caucasus and the wider region, what are the key conditions that need to be in place to ensure lasting peace and stability? What role should diplomacy, regional cooperation, and international actors play achieving this goal? The floor is yours.
I think that the most important thing is that we shouldn't be the tool of other countries against, to be used as a tool of other countries against our neighbors. We should understand that uh, this is our region, this is our home. We cannot move Azerbaijan from South Caucasus to border with Finland or to Austria, to Germany. We live here, and we have to be able to respect each other, to understand each other, and not to let others to use us against our neighbors. This is the main thing. If we can show our friends that we don't have a hidden agenda behind, that we really want a good relationship with Iran, I think that we can. And of course, there are many criticisms of Iran for their, not lack of reforms, but Iranian society was ready for reforms. After the last elections, when Pezeshkian came, there was lots of things happening. A role of women increased. This headscarf was not obligatory anymore, and I think that Israelis were worried that Iran started to reform. Iranians are smart people. You know that Iran has more engineers than Germany and France together. Iran has equal number of engineers as the United States. This is very smart people with very ancient history and culture. United States will celebrate this year its 250th anniversary. Iran is a civilization of over 4,000 years, where big civilizations grew and flourished, and also Azerbaijanis were part of this civilization. Almost apart from Pahlavi dynasty, all previous dynasties had Azerbaijani background. So I believe that we have to have good relations with Iran, economic, political. We can learn a lot from each other. We can enrich each other. Uh, and with other neighbors, with Georgia, with Armenia, with Russia, we have to build more, I would say that, honest relations. The honesty, some people that in diplomacy you can't build. No. Honesty is respected. If somebody says that you are honest, you are not playing the agenda of others, people respect you more. And I believe that the future will be bright, but first we have to change the system. We have to change ugly system which exists in Azerbaijan. And Aliyev knows that his days are counted. I know that he knows, he understands this very well. But it's also our obligation to make this transition smooth. We shouldn't let this to be turned into ugly clashes and the burnings and etc. We should guarantee security of all, including today's political elite, uh, and then to those who want to live in the new Azerbaijan, welcome. You have to be to refuse your past and help us. If not, it will be different. We will talk differently. Anyway, I think that a region is very important. The attempts to subdue the region failed, so that it was a big attempt to control Iran. Without controlling Iran, you can't control South Caucasus. You can't control other countries. So that if Iran would be then of course middle corridor, Trump Road and Trump Bridge, Trump, I don't know, monuments will be built in Azerbaijan or in Armenia, but not anymore. So that Iran is, from now on, we can consider is the regional power and world power as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Arif, for being with us today. I believe that the subject should be continued, the discussion should be continued. I'm looking forward, actually emailed Professor Said Mohammed Marandi to invite him to our show. And of
I hope
course,
that you can watch this program.
I really hope. Yeah, we are new to this. I mean, in terms of the regional discussions, mostly we were discussing our domestic issues, to be honest. Yeah. But I think this was the main mistake we have been doing so far. Why? Because it's impossible to fight dictatorship just in the domestic level. Yeah, we should escalate this oppression to the world. So to make everyone aware that we are, as Azerbaijani people, we are being ruled by torture and rape. Yeah. So that was the main reason why the book Andalusia was confiscated and burned in Azerbaijan in 21st century. Thank you, Arif. The last word you would like to wish to to our audience. And for last, I want to have this last message to our audience. Floor is yours. And yeah, go ahead.
For the audience, I would like to invite you all to subscribe to this channel. This is a new channel, but I believe that this channel will be very popular very soon. I will try to contribute, but also those who watch our program, please, you may contact Abid or myself, and if you wish to be invited to the show, please just inform us, and Abid will see, and we will contact, and we would be happy to see and listen different views. Whether we agree with you or we disagree, whether you like our channel or you dislike our channel, but feel free to contact
even
us.
If they like us, even if they don't like us. Yeah, we need to table all the subjects. All the subjects from Georgia, from Russia, from Iran, from Armenia. This is our home, and we should agree on every disagreement.
Yes. So that with this message, I think that we have to complete today's program. And Abid, thank you again for invitation. I hope that it was the first attempt. Probably for the next programs we can more choose more targeted subject. But today we try to speak about everything. It's not easy, but on our next programs probably we can choose particular subjects, and also to make programs according to new developments. I believe that next program we can discuss Armenian elections. What is
definitely
Armenian elections and other issues. And once again, thank you, and please like us, share our channel, tell to your friends about this channel, and I'm sure that we will see more important guests, more important than myself, and Abid, thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you. It was very important for me to have you as a first guest, and thank you for your support. I hope my friends don't get offended. it's only one guest at a time. Yet there will be two or more guests, but very unusual, because the most efficient talk when there is a face-to-face conversation or face-to-face discussion. Yes, and we will invite all the people with different opinion. We should discuss everything. Thank you very much, Arif, for your support.
Thank you.
And we are looking forward with my team to have you in our next show. Thank you very much again. Thank you. So before we close today's discussion, I want to leave our audience with a simple but important message. This region, the South Caucasus and the Caspian space, is our shared home. Its future depends on how we choose to engage with it, through understanding or division, through dialogue or confrontation. At Caspian Watch, we will continue to ask difficult questions, but also to seek common ground and clarity. Thank you for being with us. This is only the beginning. Thank you. Have a nice day.